Welcome back to another Foxy Games UK news video. You know, before I kick this video off, I just want to say, I want to preface this video with, with all the madness that's going on in the world, in the UK, Southport, the US, Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, and other regions of the world, you've got to be grateful and thankful that we have video games, if only to just escape all this madness sometimes. Play video games, put headphones on and just lock the world out. So yeah, I'm very happy that there's some positive video game news happening right now. And we are starting with Star Wars Outlaws, courtesy of the 6th Access.com. So Star Wars Outlaws has recently had its preview, and in spite of a lot of negativity surrounding the game, I mean, let's be honest, negativity is rife. According to Joe Blogs and his missus, video games are terrible this generation. The whole of the 9th generation is a doozy. It's just horrible. There's nothing out there. There's no good games to enjoy, if you listen to some people. But obviously, we all know that life is what you make it. And video game generations are no different. They are what you make it too. So in spite of the naysayer negativity, I am really looking forward to playing the launch version of Star Wars Outlaws Gold Edition 3 days early on August 27. For everyone else, it will launch on August 30th. Now, while there's, as I say, many complaining about the entirety of the 9th console generation, others will simply enjoy and make the most out of it. So yeah, Star Wars Outlaws certainly has the weight of expectation behind it. The first truly open-world single-player Star Wars game. And if you discount, what's that Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that was more zones, open-ended zones, but it's debatable whether that's open world or not. But yeah, this is allegedly the first Star Wars open world game, Outlaws. And it's instead really giving you a story that focuses on the criminal underworld of the galaxy, and not one lightsaber is in this game. You don't play as a Jedi, and according to the 6th Axis, they played 4 hours with the game, and it's much more interesting to discover what the game is rather than what it isn't. So Star Wars Outlaws is set after The Empire Strikes Back, which, as anyone knows, is peak Star Wars. Arguably, Empire Strikes Back is the best ever Star Wars movie, depending on who you ask. So it's a damn fine thing then that Massive Games over at Ubisoft created this Outlaws game just as George Lucas intended. Very gritty. It feels realistic and lived in. You'll believe that you could turn a corner and run into Han Solo, and perhaps you will as you take on tasks from Jabba the Hutt. Because it's set in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I am expecting to see some cameos. Now, with a focus on lawlessness, reputation looks to be everything, and this is where the game really has its it's all gelled together, whether it's the Pikes, Crimson Dawn, the Ashigar clan, or the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt cartel, who you choose to work for. You're going to have to balance out the jobs you do and the way you do them. It's fair to say that the Outlaws will see you regularly switching sides. There's just so much to get involved here, from the steadily growing number of places you can visit, which are beautiful, by the way. Very, very beautiful scenic locations and areas to explore on the map. Even outer space looks beautiful. And then there's a host of different systems and bits of equipment to upgrade, including your ship. Star Wars Outlaws pulls together a host of different inspirations when it comes to gameplay, with aspects of Ubisoft's own Assassin's Creed series, really adding to some Uncharted style exploration and gunplay, though it doesn't feel like a typical Ubisoft game I've heard from people. The way Star Wars universe is being brought to the screens by the teams at Massive across Ubisoft. If you're a Star Wars fan, Outlaws feels like the perfect video game representation of that seedier world that we found in Andor or The Mandalorian. And it continues to really sow the ideas that maybe, just maybe, you don't need lightsabers to have a good time in a Star Wars game. Sounds promising, doesn't it? Has this changed your mind about Star Wars Outlaws? Let me know in the comments. So moving on to our next news story, and following a report that I did, or coverage that I did for PlayStation VR 2 being discounted significantly Courtesy of PushSquare.com, PlayStation VR 2 sales explode after Sony's deep price cut. Sales are up more than 2,000%. Amazing stuff here. So PlayStation VR 2 sales are through the roof, relatively speaking, having jumped some 2,350% since Sony announced some fairly drastic discounts, with further savings to be had at select retailers. Who'd have imagined that carving off $200 or 200 UK pounds off the asking price, going from 550 to 350, would cause such a spike, but it indeed has. Now, the shortcut cites exclusive access to sample data from Amazon's offer, with visibility from the 1st of January 2024 through to the present, as the outlet and many have pointed out that Sony's hefty price tag was scaring off many prospective customers. In one 24-hour period since the announcement of the sale, more PlayStation VR 2s were sold than in the past 7 months combined, though the exact figures weren't shared. And if you go over to Amazon, it's completely sold out, though there are some direct from PlayStation.com. What they'll be wise to do is really to keep the price around. I know they're going to lose money, but you're going to have to make it up some other way. Otherwise, it's a complete loss if you try and sell it at a price that nobody wants to buy. So, did you pick up a PlayStation VR 2 at a reduced price? Have you got into it? Because let me tell you something, a lot of people were waiting to pull the trigger, and this is a fantastic piece of hardware. It's one of the best VR headsets you can get, and it's currently on PC as well. I just have to say, it's incredible to see the enthusiasm for PlayStation VR 2 right now. You know, playing Gran Turismo 7 using PlayStation VR 2 is a literal game changer. Let me tell you, I own a unit from launch. I got the game, everything. I'm loving it. I'm almost envious of those who are experiencing Gran Turismo 7 in VR for the first time. And dropping PlayStation VR 2 to $200 or 200 UK pounds was the best thing, absolutely, that Sony could have done. More users equals more games. Welcome to the new real, all you new users. It's lovely to see you on X, posting all of your images of your receipts and the boxes of PlayStation VR 2 units, and really saying how incredible it is that you would never have known had the price remained at 500 plus. Welcome to a very exclusive group of non-flat 2D gaming. Sound off in the comments. And in our final news story of the video, it looks like Activision Blizzard may have saved Xbox's bacon. Courtesy of VideoGamesChronicle.com, here's the full story. So Activision Blizzard again boosted Xbox's earning results while its hardware declined. Gaming revenue was up 44%, but hardware down a whopping 42%. Activision Blizzard again helped drive Microsoft's gaming division in its latest financial results, despite a significant decline in Xbox hardware sales. For the 3 months ending June 30th, 2024, gaming revenue was up 44% year over year. Very impressive there. Microsoft said on Tuesday, which includes 48 points of net impact from Activision. No small insignificant amount there. Without the acquisition, gaming revenue would have been down 4%. Xbox hardware revenue declined 42% year over year, which is to be expected with all of its emphasis on subscriptions, but Xbox content and services revenue, which includes Xbox Game Pass, was up 61% this quarter. Again, the majority of this, 58 points of net impact, came from Activision Blizzard. No doubt Call of Duty helped somewhat. So, speaking during a web call following its earnings release, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella claimed its gaming division now has over 500 million monthly active users across platforms and devices. 500 million MAUs is a staggering figure. Here's a quote. Our content pipeline has never been stronger. We previewed a record 30 new titles at our showcase this quarter. 18 of them, such as Call of Duty Black Ops 6, will be available day one on Game Pass. Game Pass Ultimate subscribers can now stream games directly on devices they already have, including, as of last month, Amazon Fire TVs. Finally, we are bringing our IP to new audiences. And Fallout made its debut as a TV show on Amazon Prime this quarter. I bet you Phil Spencer wishes there was a game to time with that. Yeah, a new game. Now, it was the second most watched show on the platform ever, and hours played on Game Pass for Fallout increased nearly 5 times. Imagine they had a Fallout 5 ready for that TV show. Wow, just boggles the mind. Now, earlier this month, Microsoft raised Xbox Game Pass prices and announced plans to introduce a new standard subscription tier that does not include day one releases, something I've already reported on. Now, Modern Warfare 3 also became the first Call of Duty game to be added to the subscription service, while Black Ops 6 will be the first Call of Duty title to launch day one when it is released on October 25th, 2024. Now, the first Activision Blizzard game to be added to Microsoft's Game Pass subscription service was Diablo 4 back in March 28th. According to the latest sales data from research firm Circana, Xbox Series consoles are tracking 13% behind where Xbox One was during the same period of its life cycle in the US market. Microsoft has already confirmed it's working on new Xbox hardware and claimed it has some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. Many speculate it could be the Xbox portable console. Also, I'd like to give Microsoft some kudos for its quick resolution of the OG Xbox One. That's the VCR first edition Xbox One, which was not updating if you hadn't updated it any time 5 years ago, really. Up to 2018, anyone who hadn't updated that system were really dealing with a brick system. It wouldn't update, and there's a lot of you may ask, why would you care about that system? But there's a lot of people into the retro market, and it does look like a AV piece. It does look like the old-fashioned 1980s 1990s VCRs. Fits very well into a media center. So yeah, I gotta give kudos to Xbox for especially Jason Ronald for resolving this issue so swiftly. But there you have it. That's your news for the video. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification, and until the next video, play games, not corporations.